Hey guys! So I know it's been forever since I've been on here and I'm so sorry. But as you guys guessed, I did have Isaiah. I had him quite a while ago. And I'm sorry I'm gonna be like moving like this and you're probably gonna get dizzy, but he's in my arms and I'll show him in just a minute. But I wanted to explain why I haven't been on. First of all, we haven't gotten internet yet. And we're looking to move, and of course having a baby is a full-time, 100% full-time job, and it's just been pretty hard and different adjusting to motherhood, and so it's been keeping me very, very busy and not really having time to make videos. And I apologize because I know you guys followed me along through all my pregnancy. You guys were my loyal subscribers throughout my whole pregnancy. And then I have the baby and I disappear. And I'm so sorry about that. But here he is. This is my little munchkin. This is Isaiah. He's 6 weeks old today. Yesterday. Today is Monday, July 15th. I don't know when this video will get up, but today is Monday, July 15th, and he is 6 weeks old now. He was born on June 2nd of 2013. I guess I will tell you guys, he's falling asleep, so I guess I'll tell you guys my labor and delivery story. So, on June the 1st, I started getting, it was Saturday, June 1st, I started getting some lower back pain, and I really didn't think much of it. I just thought it was just a regular pregnancy backache, you know? So I didn't really think much of it, and we actually had a party to go to that day. So we went to the party, and the pain was kind of on and off, but like I said, I didn't really think much about it. Then it started getting stronger around 10 o'clock at night, but like I said, I didn't really concentrate on it, and it started to go away, and I was able to fall asleep. At 12:50, around there in the morning on June 2nd, I woke up, and I went to the bathroom, and there was blood. Not a lot, but a little bit, and so I was like, okay, that's weird. I tried to lay back down, and as soon as my head hit the pillow, I had my first contraction, and I knew it was a contraction right away. They definitely tell you that when you feel a contraction for the first time, you know it's a contraction, and I knew it was a contraction. And I did have a contraction timer on my phone, and I managed to catch it, and it was exactly at 1 o'clock in the morning. So, that means my actual labor started at exactly 1 o'clock in the morning on June 2nd. So, I started timing my contractions, and at first they started at around 4.5 minutes apart, and then they moved closer to 3 minutes apart. I was timing them for about 2 hours before I woke up my mom. So I didn't end up waking her up until 3 o'clock in the morning, and my contractions still weren't that strong, but they were coming closer together. But they weren't that strong. Around 3:30 in the morning, that's when they started getting strong, and my mom was like, okay, now we have to go to the hospital. So we went to the hospital, and when I got there, they had me filling out all this crap paperwork, and then they asked me, you know, how I was feeling and how my contractions were and all that stuff, and they wheeled me up immediately. They told me to give them a urine sample, and when I did, I lost my mucus plug. I noticed that I had lost my mucus plug, and I let them know that, and they were like, okay, and they hooked me up to the heart machine thing to monitor his heart rate. Oh my gosh, this was so long ago, I'm trying to remember like every single detail. But they hooked me up to the heart machine to monitor his heart rate, and it was good, everything was good, and I was contracting pretty strong. Well, not even pretty strong, my contractions were like, because on the thing they took them from like 10 to 100, and mine were hitting about a 30. So actually they weren't bad yet. So they came in and they checked me, and they told me, and because I only had a midwife, I hadn't been checked. So she came in and she checked me, and she told me I was 3.5 centimeters dilated. So I was pretty happy, and she was like, okay, so we're going to keep you. And they did an ultrasound to check on the baby just to make sure he was okay. And it turns out that he had flipped himself backwards. And so that's what was causing my horrible backache, was that the hard part of his head, this part right here in the back, was up against my spine. So that's what was causing my horrible back pain. And that was going on throughout the whole beginning of my labor. Actually, that went on throughout my whole labor, was that I had back labor. So I wasn't allowed to walk because as I was in the beginning of labor, my blood pressure started going up. So I wasn't allowed to walk. So I had to lay on my back the whole entire time. And I was having back labor, so it was horrible. And I was so pissed off at the nurse. I was like, why can't I get up? I want to get up. And she was like, no, you can't because your blood pressure is going up. Great. So fast forward a few hours. I was dilating very, very slowly. I was probably dilating 1 centimeter every 2.5 to 3 hours. And it was very, very frustrating that they didn't want to give me anything to jumpstart my labor or to keep my labor going or progressing faster. They just wanted me to deal with it. So I did have to deal with it. When I hit 5 centimeters, finally they offered to give me my epidural. I did get the epidural. It took the anesthesiologist a few times to try to get it. It probably took around 4 or 5 pokes for her to finally get it right, but she did, and I was so thankful because I was so tired. I had gone to a birthday party the day before, and I had gone into labor at 1 o'clock in the morning, so I was up for a long time, and I was really tired, and the epidural caught me so numb that I actually fell asleep. And throughout that time that I was asleep, I went from 5 centimeters to 8 centimeters. And when I woke up, it was horrible. My epidural completely wore off. I do not know what happened. They did give me a little button to push to release more medicine into the injection, but it didn't work. I don't know what happened. The anesthesiologist said that sometimes it happens that it works for a little while and then doesn't keep working. So I guess that's what happened, and at 8 centimeters I started to feel everything, and it was so horrible. I was having horrible back pain, and I was feeling these contractions that were going up to 90 already. So I felt this for about 2 hours, and then it hit around 7:45 or so, and then my contractions started coming more and more frequently, probably every minute or so, and every time my contractions would come, I would start pushing, and my mom was telling me, don't push, don't push, don't push, because, nobody was in there. It was just me and her, and she was like, don't push, and I couldn't help it. Every single time a contraction was coming, I had to push. So I finally told my mom to call the nurse, tell her that I have to push, that I feel like I have to push. So she came in and she checked me, and she's like, okay, yeah, she's at a full 10, and everything's perfect. So at 8 o'clock, I started pushing, and it was the most intense thing ever. And I did feel what they call the ring of fire, which is the burning when he's crowning. And that was really, really difficult, to say the least. So I did feel everything when I was pushing. And 24 minutes after that, at 8:24 p.m. on June the 2nd, Isaiah Gabriel was born, and he was 7 pounds 0 ounces, so he was 7 pounds even, 19 inches long, and he was so perfect. He did have his cord wrapped around his neck. I actually didn't know that until my mom told me that he was kind of pale when he was born, and that the doctor quickly unwrapped the cord around his neck, and as soon as she took it off, he got his color back, and he started crying, and it was the most beautiful sound I had ever heard. I started crying, and my mom was crying, and it was just amazing seeing him for the first time. One thing I forgot to mention was that he did poop while he was still in my stomach. So they weren't afraid of him having meconium aspiration, which is where he inhaled it. So they did have a respiratory team. Thank God that he didn't. He didn't inhale it. He was perfect. So, yeah, that's my labor and delivery story. And, of course, he was perfectly healthy. 2 days later, we got to come home. And I've been experiencing motherhood from there. And it's been challenging and it's been different. And but it's the most amazing experience, and I wouldn't change it for the world. He is exclusively breastfeeding, and he's doing very, very well. I'm going to post up another video. Hopefully right now we can record it because he actually just fell asleep. So I'm going to tell you guys how breastfeeding was at the beginning and how it is now. So make sure you guys look out for that. And thank you guys so much for watching, and please be patient with me on the videos. Like I said, we don't exactly have internet yet. But I appreciate you guys so much, and I love you guys, and I hope to make videos as soon as possible and get them up as soon as possible, and that's it. So just like, comment, subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.